Hi, I'm going to show you how to do a false chimney breast and log grate fire in this little demonstration, and it's all going to be made out of card, everyday like cereal boxes. This particular one is a pizza box. So the first thing you're going to do is find suitable card. It's got to be thick, because when you decorate it with wallpaper or paint, you don't want it like crumbling and looking all mushy. So find a good thick card. Measure your top of your ceiling to the floor in the doll's house, and also the width of your fire that you want to put into the grate. I'm going to make a little log grate here. It's got little twigs on it and everything, and I'm also going to put a flashing LED bulb in it to give it a little bit more realism. So, right, first of all then, you've measured your ceiling to the floor, and I've measured all my pieces here. And just as a rough estimate, my measurements are, just to give you a rough guide, I can do this in inches. It's 8 1/4 inches high. Now that's, like I say, I've measured mine. So the side of your chimney breast, it depends on how far you want it to stick out. My rough estimate was 1 1/2 inches wide. So you want it to stick out, like I say, well, however deep you want that recess to be for your fireplace. For me, it was 1 1/2 inches wide. So you've got your width now and your height. So now you want to be able to make for the recess. So when you've got your fire standing in, you want to be able to make the sides for that. So again, measure how wide your wall of the fireplace is to go inside, so it's not too thick, but it won't be protruding out. You're also going to want some supports. Now all I did was I bent some card and basically got my ruler and sort of like creased it to the edge there. So that's going to stick onto the side wall of your chimney breast. So creased it, bent it over. It just gives you that little extra support and something to glue to. So what I'll do now is I'll assemble this. So you've got your two sides. I've just cut up one, measured it all nice and correct, and I'll just cut it up for the inside recess of the chimney breast. Right, what I would do is I'd make sure I use a nice, it's patterned, but I'd bring the patterns in, so in case what wallpaper you're going to be doing, you don't want to see through it, just in case. So we'll keep it all inside so it's nice and clean slate to paint on or wallpaper. So right, put it all together so you know where everything's going to go, like so. There, like that. And now I'm going to glue it just all together like that. That's for the top, and these two bits for the side. So now I know where everything's going to go. So I'll put this to the side. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to glue the supports first. So I'm just going to remove the two sides, and I'm going to glue. Use a good strong glue that's going to set pretty hard. This one is just Evo stick. It's pretty good. It's instant bond. I suppose you could use hot glue or something like that, but you want a glue that's going to set quite good. I'll just put that on there because I want it going all over my mat. So just spread your glue out. I'm getting quite addicted to the smell of this stuff. I bet my shopping wonders why I buy so much glue. Secret glue sniffer. Not really. But this is pretty strong smelling stuff. Right, so, whew, certainly is. I normally just use a tube, but I'm getting through it like hotcakes, should we say. Right, so I've spread all the glue out on the side there. and I'm going to stick this just on the edge there, where the creases are. Right. Do the same with that one, working reasonably quick because I don't want this to dry. I don't want this to dry out. There we go. Because I want to be able to stick the sides. I mean, that's the good thing of doing things like this. You don't have to spend a lot of money. That's why I like to show you how I've done things. Whether it's the right way, I don't know, but it's just the tips that I've done. Right, so I'll stick that up there, and then we'll get the other one. I mean, the supports can be any kind of size, as long as you don't cut the side walls too wide, because you're going to have to trim it all off. Well, if that's the case, just trim it off, so it's no big deal. So at the end of the day, it's only going to be cardboard that you're playing with, not wood. You can do this out of bolts of wood, but when you've got all that cereal packets just being chucked in the bin, why not make them some use out of them? Right, so stick that on there. So hopefully that should all line up. So now get your sides. Just bung a bit more glue on that. Can you see why I get through so much glue? Right. Right. So start by sticking your sides on now. So get them level and just stick it on. Use a ruler or something to get into the crease and then just press it down. And don't forget, any sins, if there's any gaps, you can always hide that with your wallpaper. So don't worry too much about any gaps. Right, so let's stick this other side on. Oh, this stuff is so smelly. This probably looks very hat-bash, but seriously, this is how I've done all my fireplaces. And like I say, once you've got it all covered with wallpaper, you're not going to see the dog's dinner underneath, are you? Right, so stick that like that. Something to press on. I mean, you could even, to give it a little bit extra support, just push down like that. So now, you see, you've got the beginnings of a chimney breast, like that. So when you've come to put your wallpaper on it, that's what it can look like. Sort of like glued. Your wallpaper will cover all these creases. So that's that bit. I'm just going to stick a bit more glue down here. Just along here. This glue is really good because it's instant grab. Stick it all together. I've taped it all up, tried to get it a little bit more straight, because you want it, you know, pretty straight at the sides. I've glued a back on and a top, so it's all, so you've got that recess there. Now it looks a complete and utter dog's dinner at the back, but obviously when it's all wallpapered, you're not going to see it. For the gaps, because there was gaps down here, I've just put some tape on. But be careful with putting tape on, because when you put your wallpaper on, it might ripple up. So just make sure you use a good quality masking tape that will stay stuck when you put your wallpaper on there. And make sure you try and get all the creases out, because that will also show under your wallpaper. So don't put too much tape on the front if you can help it. I am going to make a little fire surround. Now I'm going to make that like a shelf. Hi, well this is the little fireplace that I've completed. And basically I don't know if you can see in there, I just put a little photograph on there and a clock to just give you some more realism there, show you how it can look. That's a little fire log there that I've made. I've painted all the inside black and made the little fire surround. And all that is some trim. And the tiles here, across the top there, is I went on the hunt to DIY shop and I got this. And I thought, well, that's going to come in handy because you can use that for tile splashback of some description. But it came in handy for that little section there. So, some wood trim that I used just for the fire surround. That's just a piece of wood trim that I got from a DIY shop. And just made that, and just some skirting board for the shelf to go across the top. I've yet to put the light, the little flashing light in there, but that's basically it. So from a pizza box to a chimney breast with a fire. Like I say, don't look at the back because it's a bit of a dog's dinner, but you're not going to see that when it's all stuck to the back of the room. So I hope I've been of some help there.